Happy Monday afternoon. My name is Mrs. Sullinger, and I'm going to be facilitating your learning for the next 8 weeks in growth and development. And so I'm going to try to post videos that go over the weekly lessons and look forward to seeing you tonight at the Zoom where we'll go over the whole course. But for right now, I'd like to start with week 1 and show you what will be going on with your learning this week. So let me share my screen. And let me also go into student view so that we are looking at it as you will see it on your screen. So there we go. And you should have already completed the welcome module as well as the emergency resources. And then looking at your syllabus module, the syllabus is there, the textbook resources, our Nursing and Health Sciences Handbook and Policy and Procedure Manual. And then these are assignments that you're going to be working on throughout the 8 weeks of the course. So let's dive right into week 1. So each week you'll have a module and it will look something like this. There will be an overview and then lessons on the topics, concepts, and then there will be activities, assignments. There's really no difference. That's just how I term them to turn in. In week 1, there's a couple extra things to get to know each other, build some rapport amongst ourselves, get to know the course a little bit, and the syllabus and the expectations. And then you'll see the quiz. So there will be focus areas for the quiz and then the quiz. So for week 1, you can see there are 3 different sections. Let's go to the overview. Let's start there. So what you'll see is you will see the title. There is a link here that if you click on that will take you back to that week 1 module. So we'll go back to the overview and you will find your course objectives. So these are the objectives for the course that we're meeting in week 1, looking at stage theories, different types of typical physical, cognitive, sociocultural, personality, sexual, ethnic behavior of individuals unique to each stage of the lifespan. When we update the course, we'll change that to gender. And then being able to differentiate between normal developmental patterns and deviations. And so we're going to talk about those things in terms of why do you study growth and development? What is that? And so you will, this will be the lesson. Here will be the objective. So 2 reasons why studying growth and development would be helpful to you. Here's your reading. So if you click on the link, it should take you and open up in a new window. So see, it opens up in a new window. So there may not be just the textbooks, there may be articles or web pages that I'd like you to read. And so this particular one talks about reasons to study human development. And so you can read through that. And then if you go back to your page, if you go to this lesson here, excuse me, this is Lumen. This is on Libre texts, which I like. And it tells you which takes you right there and it tells you which ones to read. So basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 1.1, 1.2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And so you just click on the first one, why it matters. And it will take you through a little lesson, some reading, and then and give you some questions. And then you click on the little arrow here, which will take you to 1.2. And then you just keep doing that to get through the lesson. And then it will take you to a link for the actual lesson that I have put together for you with the things that I would like you to learn, to know about. So if you click on the lesson, that will again take you to the week 1 lesson here. It will take you, there's a link to get back to that module. This is what was in the overview. And then this is the lesson. So we're asking a question, why should we study growth and development? You might have your own thoughts on that. Here's different reasons why, as well as the reading gave you some reasons. Most of you will probably say, well, because I need it to graduate. But if you are going into healthcare in any capacity and just in general, in life in general, it'd be nice to know some different theories or things to look out for to help with interactions, gaining knowledge, better understanding of yourself as well as others, maybe those in your family or your classes. And so this is the link for that resource. And that's basically that lesson. Now you will see that at the end of each lesson, there will be a section on reflection on learning or some type of reflection. And there'll be some questions there. What do you think? Why would you like to study growth and development? How can it help you? And you're probably wondering, well, where am I going to answer these questions? Good thing you asked, because what you have, one of the assignments that you have for to work on throughout the course is your capstone journal. So if you go on the left side here, this is kind of your menu. And if you go back to the modules, and I can put a link to the assignment if you'd like, and you go back up to your syllabus and assignments to work on throughout the course. There's your journal. So it explains how to use the journal, and you're going to go to the Google Doc, which should pop up. Yay! And what you will do is you will make a copy of this. So you go to File, make a copy. I'm not going to, I'm just going to leave it there. And then this is the template that you're going to use. Now I've done the first 2 weeks for you, and then you can make it your own or however you want to do it, because this is for you. So you're going to add your name. And then this handy dandy thing here is a table of contents. So if you click on, for example, week 4, oops, it should take me to the week 4 page. Nice. And then I have to kind of scroll back up, or I can click on these lines over here and I can go back up to week 1, which is where we are right now. And oh, look, lesson 1, why study growth and development? What do you think? Why would you like to study growth and development? How can you help you? And so this is where you would type in your response as to answer the questions. And as you can see, it will go on through the scientific method, which we're going to talk about, and different theories of growth and development. And so you can just click underneath, whenever there's any questions, and answer those questions in the journal. And let me know if you have questions about that, and I can help you with that. So let's go back to that first lesson. We'll go back from there. So we'll close the syllabus. And we're in week 1. We just finished looking at the week 1 lesson. So let's go back there. Week 1 lesson. Why study growth and development? And there's your reflection on learning. If you click next, it will take you to the second one, 1.2, which is research and the scientific method. So hopefully most of you have heard of the scientific method. This page again will take you, this link takes you back to the module. By the end of the lesson, hopefully you're going to be able to describe the steps of the scientific method, explain the difference between operant and classical conditioning, which is a type of behavioral science, and then be able to apply the scientific method and research to the study of growth and development. So that's going to sort of happen throughout the course as well. And then if you look, you'll see the reading. So this says chapter 2 only. So if you click on this link, it should take you hopefully, yes, to chapter 2, psychological research. There goes that. And so then this is your reading for that particular lesson. And the same with, this will take you back to a Libre Texts lesson on research methods. So that's what, 1.8, and we want to do 8, 9, 10, and 1C. Same thing, Lumen. This is the one we used in the first lesson. So that's sort of the reading, the prep work right before the lesson. And so here's the lesson part. And so there is a link here to the scientific method. This is the website attribution. And it talks all about the scientific method and different, the steps. what are the 6 steps? And you'll find different resources that will give you 5 steps, 7 steps. I don't know how many, so many steps sometimes. But basically, there's a problem or we're asking a question, right? What is there? Is there something we want to change? What are we thinking about that? And then we're going to do some background research. So let's see. I don't know if you used to do science fairs in high school, that might give you an idea. So here's different resources within here to be able to ask a question, and then resources to do background research. And then we're going to come up with a hypothesis. So this is an educated guess about how things work and might help us answer our question. So a good hypothesis helps us make a prediction. So if I do this, then this will happen. So if I, let's see, if I don't eat a candy bar, then my blood sugar will stay below 150. That's my hypothesis. So my problem is that my blood sugar keeps going up. And so I'm going to do some research to see what makes blood sugar go up or down, or what that even means. And then that's going to be my hypothesis. So if I do not eat my candy bar, then my blood sugar will stay below 150. And so my prediction must be easy to measure. I can measure my blood sugar, so I'll know if it's below 150. And then it gives you some different resources here. So to talk about different variables. So am I changing the time? Maybe I'm going to eat something. Am I going to look at when I check my blood sugar? Because if I check it 4 hours after I eat the candy bar, then of course it's probably going to be less than 150. Does the type of candy bar, if it's a sugar-free candy bar, does that make a difference? And so that's what we're going to do, is test our hypothesis. And so it might be that in doing my experiment, I don't eat a candy bar and I check my blood sugar, within 2 hours of not eating a candy bar, which is kind of silly. And I realized that, I don't know, maybe it doesn't really make sense. Maybe that's not what I want to do. So then I go back, I've analyzed my data, and I make a conclusion that, I don't know if I'm actually even measuring anything. So let me go back and reevaluate. And so then based on different things, I'm going to say, well, if I eat a sugar-free candy bar within 2 hours, my blood sugar will be less than 150. And so then I test that. I find a couple different sugar-free candy bars and I eat those and test my blood sugar. And I find out that, with one particular candy bar, it's 145. But if I eat this other candy bar, even though it says it's sugar-free, my blood sugar was 175 1 hour or 2 hours after eating it. So those are kind of the things. That's my analyzing my data and drawing a conclusion that depending on the type of candy bar, my blood sugar may or may not be lower than 150. And then really we should be able to communicate our results. And so that people know what is going on, what our results are. And then they may decide that they want to go further into that. And so gives you the steps and scientific method example, that type of thing. So this is part of the lesson that you're going to be reading. And so then if you go back to the module, probably should have had a link back to the lesson. Sorry about that. So research the scientific method. And there's a video that you can watch. There's a little blurb about a hypothesis and the prediction. So a hypothesis is a guess about how things might work. And then the prediction describes the expected outcome if the hypothesis is true. And so the hypothesis basically generates predictions. Then there's a little link here on operant versus classical conditioning. In terms, I don't know if you remember Pavlov and ringing the bell and the dogs being hungry. That's what that's talking about. And so those are different types of ways that we can look at behavior. And so what you should do is, while you're reading that, think about like, for example, here's operant conditioning. So in a classroom setting, a teacher might use operant conditioning by offering tokens as rewards for good behavior. And then the students turn those in. for some type of reward. So that's operant conditioning. And so if we go back and look at our definition, is that the operant conditioning is about associating a voluntary behavior and a consequence, right? So if you do well on this, you get a reward and you get to choose what your reward is. Whereas the classical conditioning involves an involuntary response in a stimulus. So that was like the animal trainer. Classic conditioning, you pair something together. You pair the sound of the clicker with the taste of the food. So just the sound of the clicker will produce that same response as the taste of food. And then if we go back to that, there's a little video there to watch on YouTube. And that's basically the lesson. And so here's your reflection. That again, go back to your journal to answer those questions. And then we move on to the third lesson for week 1, which is on theories of growth and development. So again, the lesson page has the link to the module, and then it has outcomes, your learning objectives, to be looking at different, defining, recalling, identifying different types of theories. We're not just looking at Piaget, Erikson, and children, theories for children. We're also looking at theories of adult development. And so you will have your reading. So again, this will take you to different readings. This one should take you to a PowerPoint. Wait for it to load. I do believe. Sometimes it takes a while in Canvas for things to load. But it should. And each of these things should hopefully open up in a separate window so that you can go back and close all my little windows there and be able to go back to the lesson. And so when we look at, it tells you about the reading. It's another, I believe that's the same PowerPoint, but you have that there as well. Yeah, same PowerPoint. And then each of these videos to watch, these pages will take you to, it's a lot of theories. Who knew that there were that many theories about growth and development? And this is just some, this is not all of the theories. But for example, let's take Maslow. So hopefully you've heard of Maslow and his hierarchy of needs. Not sure why the picture isn't loading, but I will hopefully fix that later. And looking at the hierarchy of needs, right? So we have physiological needs. It's a pyramid, right? And so in order to feel safe and have love and belonging and esteem and self-actualization, we have to have our physiological needs met first. So we need food, shelter, clothing. We need to be able to reproduce in the reproduction sense, not necessarily in the intimacy sense. And once we have those things met, then hopefully we will feel safe. We'll have some personal security. We can find a job, so we have some money. We'll get some resources. Our health goes there so that we're able to continue to grow in that way. And once we have a sense of who we are and we feel safe, then we can move out and express love and belonging and friendship and look at becoming, finding a partner, maybe having a family, being connected in our intimate circle, as well as our community circle, family circle, neighborhood circle, lots of different areas there. And then as we feel that we're part of community and connected, then we can hopefully feel some self-respect, have some self-esteem, maybe some recognition, feel some pride about ourselves of what we're doing, and then to actually feel that you have reached self-actualization, which is to become the most that you can be. So what is that thing? Is it to be a nurse, to be a physical therapist, to be a dental assistant, to be whatever it is, to be a parent, to be married, to not be married, to have a doctorate degree, whatever that might be. So that would be Maslow. And we're going to relate that to growth and development, because sometimes if we can't meet our basic needs, then it's difficult to grow and develop and work through our life stages. So again, there is information about each part. each step. There's a little video related to Up and one on Ratatouille that actually talks about the hierarchy of needs in those movies. This is also a good little short video on Maslow's hierarchy as well. And so that would be the information about Maslow. And then if we go back, oh, we're still trying to load that PowerPoint. Let's not go there. We've gone through Maslow, so we can go back and go to any others of these. Now you're probably wondering, well, what do we have to know? Oh my goodness. And so for the quiz, in the focus areas for the quiz, you'll find that information. But the basic ones that people need to know are Maslow, and I can go back and maybe put an asterisk. Erik Erikson, Piaget, Kohlberg's moral development, Vygotsky, Levinson, Havighurst, and then any one of those three, Keegan, Ashley, Peck. But in terms of specific information for the quiz, that'll be found on the focus areas in the module. And then there's also the life journey. It's the Up series, where a gentleman, Michael Apted, actually took children in England and did research every 7 years. And so this is actually one of the later ones. He actually passed away in 2021, and he was so excited to get to 70, and he just didn't quite make it there. But this is a great video to look at how these people went through their growth and development stages. So it's really kind of a neat thing. And then you'll come at the bottom then to your reflection piece, things for you to reflect on. Again, this will go in your journal. And then if you click next, that will take you to your assignments, activities that are due. So for this week, there is a click on the link, and that will take you to an escape room that will work you through the scientific method. So if you click on the link, it should take you, to the escape room. It's a Google Doc, so it's going to ask you some different questions. You need to record your email to earn credit for it. And then it will take you click on that, and then it will take you through each page. And so there'll be some description, and then you have to put your answer in here. Your answer is a word, it's in all caps. And you do have a clue there, and it relates to the lesson on the scientific method. And then you can again click next, and it will take you to operant and classical conditioning. So this is to understand about operant and classical conditioning, and then you're going to review the lesson 1.2 and do your own research about classical and operant conditioning. And then what we're going to have you do, what we'd like you to do, is think about how do you see classical conditioning or operant conditioning in everyday life, and how does that potentially relate to growth and development? And it gives you some examples there. And then it tells you you're going to do a little presentation. You can do Google Slides, PowerPoint, and then it tells you what you need to do. So to give the information about that. And so then reflect on how understanding the processes can help, providing education to clients, maybe parenting techniques, personal habits, and then it tells you to submit your work there, gives you a due date. So this is actually not due in week 1, this is due in week 2. So you have a little time to do that. Every assignment has a rubric. And so this is the rubric, looking for the criteria. So it may seem a little bit vague, but that's because I want you to be creative, right? And feel that you have some leeway, some avenue to be creative. And so then if you continue on, it will take you, again, it's taking you right through the module, right? It's going from each place in the module. So here's the Google Class chat. If you have not done that yet, please do that. It takes you to the chat. And then there is a rubric for that, because you then go to the Google Chat document to tell everybody what little emoji or GIF that you got. The discussion board, right? I always put an initial video post due. That's due by Wednesday. So there's that. That should show up on your calendar. And then 2 replies to classmates due by Friday. And so you are going to create a short video that is introducing you. And so it tells you how to do that, where to go. Click on the screen. That's me when I was working on that the other day. Click finish. It'll load. You can start over if you want. And then in the video, go ahead and share these things: your name, how to pronounce it, you know, what you're studying. Is this your first year in college, your 10th year in college? Is there some fun or interesting fact about you, and why you're taking the whole course and what you hope to get out of it? And then after that, you're going to comment to at least 2 classmates. So that's why it's a discussion. So you can go in, watch their video, which, because this is an online course, we're not sitting in a classroom, it'd be nice to get to know each other, see what each other looks like. And it's, I think it's really kind of fun to get to know each other and to meet me as well. And I get to meet you as well. And so for discussions, to see the rubric, it should be, there we go. See these 3? So if I subscribe there, then I will get a notification every time that somebody posts, but I'm not going to do that because otherwise I'll pop it up as the instructor and the student, and I don't want to do that. You click on the 3 dots, it will there, show rubric. So you click on show rubric, and then there is the rubric, the content for the initial post, that you met the due dates, that you replied to peers. So that's how you get to the rubric for discussions. And then there's your goal and your course objective. So you would hit reply and follow the directions. And then that's just the initial post reminder. So you remember to do that. And then there's also a syllabus review activity. So link to the syllabus review activity. For this, there isn't anything to turn in. I will just go ahead and give credit once you've completed that, worth 5 points. And it's, again, due by Wednesday, so you need to get into the syllabus and take a look at that. And you're going to read through the syllabus, and did you find something that was really important or helpful to you? And that's what you're going to write down on the syllabus review activity. And then you can't repeat something that somebody's already written. You have to write something that's different. So by the end of it, we'll have 33 different key points from the syllabus. And so if I go in and see that something's very similar to another student, I may leave you a note there on the document saying, hey, this is close, but could you find something a little bit different? And so these are just some examples. You know, what was important to me was that 10% per day is deducted if the assignment's late. It's a 3-unit course. Number your entry. Excuse me, it's easier for me to keep track of you. You can use a different colored ink or font. Once I'm done reading it and recording your grade, then I'll put a little check mark here, means that it's been reviewed. And this is the key thing, right? It's best to get on it now, because if you're the 32nd, 33rd person, you've got to find something totally different that nobody else has written down, and that can be challenging. So, and then after you've completed your entry in the Google Doc, write in the comments for the assignment a reflection of how you like the activity and what you learned from it. So writes one thing learned, and then writes the comment. So what should happen, if I set this up correctly, there we go, text entry, right? There's a comment. I set it already up for the text entry. So you just go right ahead here and write in a reflection of how you liked it and what you learned. And then you're good to go. You submit, and then I will see that there. And then here's your focus areas for the week 1 quiz, right? So know the steps involved with the scientific method, maybe specifically these things would be good to know. Think about why studying growth and development would be helpful to you. And then these would be the developmental theorists that that you would be focusing on. And then it should take us to the quiz next. Now, the quiz is locked until the 13th. So how the quizzes will work in this course is that they will open on Thursdays at noon, and they will be due Sunday just before midnight. And so the way I do quizzes is, and for this particular course, is you have 2 attempts. Each attempt, you have 120 minutes available, and it will tell you how many points it's worth, how many questions, and then you actually are able to use your resources while you are taking the quiz. That's why there are 120 minutes available. The thing is that once you start the quiz, you must finish it in that one sitting. You don't get more than the 2 attempts. And the other thing is that because there might be some questions that I have to grade, and I'm on it. I'm looking to see when people are in the quiz, when they're working on it, and I try to go in and grade as soon as I can, so that then if you'd like to take your second attempt, you may take your second attempt. And the second attempt, we take the better score, the higher score of the attempts. And so there's that. So that, I believe, if we go back to the module for week 1, would complete our week 1 overview and lessons. And we went through all of that. We did all that, and we looked at the quiz. So there you go. And what I will do is something similar to this each week. If you have questions, feel free to reach out to me in my office hours. If you go to the syllabus section on the left-hand menu, it will give you my information, my email. It will give you my student hours. If you click on this link, it should give you slots here to sign up. And then also Thursday evenings right there to sign up for office hours. Please put a topic in. That would be helpful to me. And then these are links to the syllabus document and the liquid syllabus. And then in the course summary, it should have the activities and due dates. This is for the first 2 weeks, plus the ones that you're working on throughout the course. And what else did I want to tell you? There's that and that. The home page will change each week because this is getting started, and then where to start and how to be successful. The overviews for these subsequent weeks will be updated because right now they're pretty sparse, but they will be updated, and then you'll go to the that will take you to the lessons. If you want to look up articles, you have the link to the college library here, the Get Tutoring. If there's a Zoom, you have Zoom available. We're not doing collaborations. I'll take that one out. And I think that's good. You will have on your homepage, regardless of what the homepage looks like, you will always have the most recent like 3 to 5 announcements that are up there. And what that will do is if you click on it, also this part here tells me that there are 2 replies. So it tells me that somebody's responded to the announcement. You can always reply to an announcement with a question or a comment, which is fine. So if you click on the announcement, welcome to class, right? That's that link to the page we were just on. This is the link for the Zoom session for Monday for tonight. This is the link to the Google chat if you'd like to join in there. And then you hit this reply here and you can reply. Now, Brenda was great. She had a question. And so you'll see here that I can reply to that, or I can look at, there was one reply, somebody left a reply. So I can click on that and it'll tell me that it was unread. Oh, and then I see that there was a response to Brenda, and if somebody wants to reply to that, they can. And so that walks you through how to reply to an announcement. So let's see, what else can I tell you? You can get to the modules here. You have your calendar over here that will have all the due dates on it. You have your um, to-do list here. So once that gets graded, like that's an announcement to look at. What else? These are just the different assignments and the quiz there, the discussion board, right? So everything you need is all right there. So I'm going to stop sharing. There we go. And then, so you could expect each week a similar video, more specific to the lesson, the overview and the lesson for the week, not so much on the mechanics of how to navigate through the class. If you have questions, you can always also go to the Google chat, because if you have the question, somebody else probably has the question as well. So if I've forgotten anything, please message, let me know. I'm really excited to get started. And I will be seeing you around in the course. All right. Have a great rest of your day. And I will, there we go, stop the recording. All right. Talk to you later.